Hey there, everybody. Welcome to this is a Season 5 discussion, and here we're going to theorize about the future for Mandy Moore as Rebecca, because it feels, on the surface anyway, like we're really building up for this to be the biggest season for Rebecca that we've had in a long time. So we'll talk about what that could look like, some ways they could present her. Before we do, though, if you guys do like this discussion, remember to give us a like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell so you don't miss any other updates we've got coming up.
So it makes sense that this season in particular would have a huge focus on Rebecca. We've had, of course, a big focus on Jack. Everything that's happened with Jack has kind of, in a lot of ways, because he was sort of this superhero dad, then of course he died, and it's all overshadowed Rebecca's role in this family. I mean, we've seen Randall basically say that he thinks that he was the tent pole that held everybody up afterwards, and you kind of look back at things and see that that's not exactly true. He may think that, but you see how much Rebecca went through to hold the family together. I mean, she's lost her husband in such a tragic way. She has 3 teenagers that are all the same age, and she's still finding a way to hold things together for everybody. She's a character that has been just sort of like not really in the limelight the way that she should be. Sort of a mother's work is never really appreciated, but is always there and is always a constant. And with everything that's going on with her, with losing her memory, this is going to be a season that I think has to focus on her and focus on that.
I really, if I'm sort of just thinking through beyond just present stuff, one of the biggest things I would like to see, it is sort of an idea of perception and how for characters that may be their reality, but that may not be an accurate representation of the real legitimate reality. And what I mean by this is, let's say, for example, Kevin has a big memory with his dad, and the two of them have some bond when Kevin is little. But Rebecca may have been the one who was pushing Jack to do something for Kevin, and Kevin may not be aware of this. And I would like to see just an episode of kind of exploring these little moments, and maybe with that, having some of the Pearson kids kind of coming to this revelation that, oh, you know, Rebecca really was here, and we sort of romanticize Jack because he's not, but Rebecca is here, and time is of the essence now. We should be finding more ways to express gratitude.
Yeah, and with Rebecca losing her memory, I'm actually hoping we're going to see a lot more memories from the kids with their mom. Like we've had very few of those. One of them we had, I think it was just this past season, was with her and Kevin going to the baseball card store, and that it was her that was there with him and it wasn't Jack. And we don't get a lot of these moments because Jack is the big figure. He is the perfect dad. He is the one everyone has lost, and he is romanticized. Where because Rebecca is still there, that isn't what's happening with her. You kind of take for granted what you have, and people take their mothers for granted all the time. It's just an unfortunate part of life and the way that it is, because the mothers are expected to give all this stuff and sort of do the hard work to keep the family together. So this whole fight that's going on with Kevin and Randall, and sort of like, I'm the person that took care of mom and I'm the person who took care of this whole family. I want season 5 then to move into more of the reality. What really happened? Was it really Randall? No, it was Rebecca. Let's see those moments. Let's see moments with Kate, moments with Kevin, actual moments with Randall, and of course everything that got her to this point where she is, of course, taking care of the family.
I want to see what it's actually like for Rebecca, sort of allowing Randall to take the reins here and there, and not so much because she wants to, but because she feels like Randall needs that. Like Randall feels like he needs to step up. But also with that, what's the sort of emotional toll on someone like Rebecca, who kind of feels like she needs to be sort of in the sidelines, or she needs to be allowing someone else to do that? Because I would imagine it's got to take some sort of toll on you here or there when you want to sort of be the person who is at the center of the story of, oh, remember when Jack and I did this, or remember when Dad and I did this, and have it be you. Like, that does have to weigh on you, and I would actually like to see more of Rebecca having someone else who's sort of independent from a lot of this to talk to about it, and I don't know who that is, but I think it's an interesting idea to explore.
The other thing I'd like to see this season, because this is probably going to be the last season that we're going to have any Rebecca memories. So she is the last person to really have any of the baby's memories for us to see. Because once her memories are gone, there's no more storytellers left to give us those memories. All the stuff we get of her and Jack before the babies, or her and Jack with the babies, this isn't coming from the big three. This is Rebecca's memories. So this season is a season that I want a lot more of that to come out. I want to see more of her relationship with Jack, with the babies.
And I think it's going to be something that gives us a fuller sense as to, how she viewed her relationship with Jack, how she views a relationship with her kids. But then also, as the kids start to get older, and even after Jack dies, it would help to further understand her relationship with Miguel, which is something that we've talked a lot about wanting to see explored a lot in the future. And if we are going to be in a point where sort of the only outside point of view is of Miguel, his point of view for a long time was very different because he was just sort of Jack's friend. So he wasn't around for altogether everything. And so he's kind of an unreliable narrator in that sense. We need to spend a little bit of time with someone who we can rely on because we have relied on her for most of the series.
Yeah, and I just think that if they don't bring us this season of more of a focus on Rebecca, it's going to be a really missed opportunity, because we have had such a focus on the big three. We have had such a huge focus on Jack, and she really has been in the background for a lot of this. We haven't really gotten to know her the way that we've gotten to know Jack. And with this being sort of the end of the line for what's going on with her, it's time. Outside of her relationship with Miguel, it is way overdue for that. Yeah, we have talked about that. We'll link that video below. And they have said that they're going to bring in more of Miguel and how that kind of went through. But there was a big, I think it's 10-year period where she wasn't with Miguel and she wasn't with Jack because Jack had passed away. There was a big, long period of time. We need to see more of that time as well, how it was without Jack and some of those flashbacks. And I'm not trying to cut Jack out of the show here, and I'm not saying they should, and I don't think they should. But I do need to see a little more of what it was like for Rebecca and her kids when he's not there.
That's one of the lost years of This Is Us to me, is we don't really see a lot of that time before she met Miguel. We don't see a lot of time with the big three in that era either. It feels almost like the show doesn't know quite what to do because it's close enough age range to where the actors are now that they're probably like, should we have Justin Hartley try to play this version of Kevin, and all of it gets kind of confusing. But you could easily do it still for Rebecca, sort of separate from her kids, while her kids are kind of off doing their own thing. There's still something more for her there. There is life presumably to be lived that is individual and different, and that could be exciting.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, when your kids get older, you do start to go and have your own life and do your own stuff. And we saw, a little bit after what happened with Jack, where she was, with the acting coach for Kevin and all that sort of stuff. She is still a little bit, they touched on that. But they really need to touch on that stuff this season. Yeah, of course, we're going to have stories with the big three. Of course, we're going to have more of the fallout with the big fight. But I really think it's time to give us that, and it is kind of the last opportunity.
The only other sort of thing that's really on the forefront of my mind with Rebecca right now, and this is in the present, is she's probably so used to having at least these reunions that take place with everyone. And with her being at the trial, everyone is going to have to travel to be there because nobody is located there. So you have that component compounded with the feud that's going on with Kevin and Randall. What sort of toll is it going to take on her to not be able to spend time with everyone all at once, to not actually feel like you have a whole family together? I think they really should dive into that a little bit.
Yeah, and I don't know how they're going to kind of move around it, too, because as she's sort of losing her memory, is this something that they decide to even share with her is going on? Because this can then turn into a situation where they're going to have to retell this to her over and over again and break her heart over and over and over again that her two sons are not speaking, which is devastating to a mom, to have your children are not speaking. And as her memory's going, then it's going to be like, oh, and why is Kevin not here? We're not speaking, Mom. It's just that break. I'm curious to see how they're really actually going to deal with it.
And hopefully they deal with it in a way that is gripping, but also still gives us hope. Because we need hope. Come on, guys. We need a little bit of good news for Kevin and Randall at some point. And yeah, we're very excited for This Is Us to be back. Unfortunately, probably not anytime soon.
Yeah.
Rest assured, though, once we know more, you guys will know more because we will come on and tell you all about it.
And we'll still keep having discussions about This Is Us as things come up.
Well, for now, though, what do you guys want to see tackled with Rebecca on This Is Us Season 5? Be sure to share in the comments, give us a like, subscribe to the channel, and support us further by checking the link in the description to the store, and we'll see you here next time.